But to a handful of collectors, this penny is nothing short of miraculous. Because this is no ordinary penny. This is the 1981 D. Lincoln penny, a coin that, in the right hands, is worth $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right. One coin could change a life forever. The answer lies in a strange twist of history, minting errors, and the secret world of collectors who know what to look for. Back in 1981, the Denver Mint produced billions of pennies, but hidden among them were a few rare anomalies. These coins didn't make it into the mainstream. They were quietly tucked away, overlooked, dismissed as ordinary pennies. And that's exactly why they're worth so much today. Collectors call it a hidden treasure because it looks almost identical to every other 1981 penny you've ever seen. If you walked past it in your wallet, you'd never know it held the potential to make someone a millionaire. The difference is subtle, almost invisible. It's the tiny details, the slightest misstrike, the die cracks that only trained eyes can spot. This coin has a story that feels like it was lifted from a treasure map, yet it's real, tangible, and it could be in your hands right now. Let me tell you about one collector who discovered this penny purely by chance. He was going through a box of old coins inherited from his father, sorting and cataloging, when a glint caught his eye. A penny that should have been ordinary stood out. Its details were sharper, its edges subtly different. He almost didn't pick it up, but he did, and when he brought it to an expert, they gasped. That single coin would eventually be valued at $1.6 million. Just one moment of curiosity had changed everything that you're probably wondering how to spot this penny yourself. First, check the mint mark. This coin comes from the Denver Mint, so you'll be looking for a small D beneath the year 1981. But that's not all. Millions of pennies have the same mark. The key lies in the strike. The 1981 D penny in question has an unusually sharp profile of Lincoln's bust, deeper lines in the hair and beard than standard pennies. Some have faint doubling of the date or letters. The color and luster might also appear slightly different, a subtle hint of the coin's rarity. And remember, even slight damage or wear can dramatically affect value, so pristine condition is essential. The number of these pennies in circulation is shockingly low. We're talking a handful compared to billions of normal pennies. That rarity is what drives collectors into a frenzy, willing to pay incredible sums, because they know these coins aren't just valuable, they're life-changing. Imagine discovering one, knowing the exact moment it could elevate you financially beyond your wildest dreams. And it's not just the money. There's a rush, a thrill, a sense of connection to history. Each penny tells a story of the United States, of the mint, of the unseen hands that produced these coins decades ago. Holding it, examining it, knowing the rarity you possess. It's an emotional experience that collectors chase for a lifetime. Now, pay attention because this part is crucial. To authenticate a potential 1981 D million-dollar penny, experts use magnification to inspect minute details, the sharpness of Lincoln's collar, the alignment of the lettering, the depth of the mint mark. Even subtle variations in the rim can indicate a coin of extraordinary value. If you find one in near-perfect condition, untouched, it could be the key to that life-changing discovery. While the world tosses pennies aside, a few hidden gems quietly wait. They're hiding in change jars, in drawers, in forgotten collections. And every so often, someone stumbles upon a coin that feels like destiny. The story of the 1981 D. Lincoln penny is not just about money. It's about finding hope in the smallest, most overlooked places. Imagine holding a coin that could buy a house, fund a dream, or secure your family's future. It sounds impossible, yet it happens, and it has happened. People have turned simple coins into fortunes. And yes, the 1981 D. Lincoln penny is one of those extraordinary coins. Its value doesn't just come from metal or age. It comes from rarity, history, and the thrill of discovery. If you're sorting coins at home, don't rush past the small, seemingly ordinary pennies. Examine them carefully. Look for that Denver D and scrutinize the details under a magnifying glass. The potential reward is astonishing. Remember, millions of ordinary pennies exist, but a few hidden treasures are quietly waiting. Sometimes the most extraordinary things are hidden in plain sight. While others overlook the possibilities, collectors who pay attention, who learn to see what others miss, are the ones who uncover true treasures. And there's nothing more exciting than realizing that a simple penny, sitting unnoticed, could be your gateway to a life you never imagined. This is your moment. Open that drawer, inspect those coins, and imagine the thrill of discovering a 1981 D. Lincoln penny in perfect condition. Think about the story it carries, the life it could change, the legacy it could create. Some people search their entire lives and never find a coin like this. But you have the knowledge now. You know what to look for, how to examine it, and why it's worth so much. This is more than a coin. It's hope, mystery, history, and opportunity rolled into a single, tiny disc of copper. Every glance, every inspection, brings you closer to a moment of discovery that could be unforgettable. And that's the magic of coin collecting, finding what others overlook and knowing you hold something extraordinary. Millions of ordinary coins are out there, but the rarest, most valuable coins are quietly hiding, waiting for someone with eyes sharp enough to see them. And if that penny comes from 1981, bears the Denver mark, and shows those subtle, exceptional details, you may be holding a coin worth over $1 million. I'm going to show you the 1984 D. Lincoln penny, a coin that has shocked collectors across the country, quietly hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right person to notice. We drop them in jars, leave them in our cars, or even discard them as trivial change. But some of these coins are far from ordinary. The 1984 D penny with the Denver Mint mark is one of those rare gems. Its story begins with a small minting error, one so subtle that the untrained eye would never catch it. Yet for those who know what to look for, it is worth over $1 million. In 1984, the United States Mint produced billions of pennies, each stamped with Abraham Lincoln's profile, a coin seemingly ordinary and familiar. But hidden among these millions was a small number of pennies with an unusual feature, a double die on the reverse side. This tiny imperfection is what transforms an everyday coin into a treasure of unimaginable value. Collectors first discovered these anomalies in the early 2000s. Coin dealers were stunned. Pennies that had been exchanged for a loaf of bread or a pack of gum were now being appraised at six figures. And as the word spread, collectors realized they were sitting on something extraordinary, a coin that could make someone a millionaire overnight. That's the secret most casual collectors miss. Look at the reverse of the 1984 D. Lincoln penny. Focus on the inscriptions, the words 1 cent and United States of America. On this rare penny, these letters appear slightly doubled. Not blurry, not worn, but a precise doubling of the strike. The detail is tiny, almost invisible, yet it is the hallmark of one of the most valuable pennies ever minted. Even seasoned collectors can overlook it at first glance. And that's what makes this coin so thrilling, the possibility that a single penny in your pocket could be worth over $1 million. Every day, ordinary people find pennies in jars, drawers, or even on the street, only to later discover that they hold a secret worth more than their wildest dreams. Imagine the thrill of holding this coin for the first time, running your fingers over the engraved lines, realizing that history has quietly hidden this treasure in plain sight for decades. The story isn't just about money. It's about discovery, excitement, and the sheer joy of finding something rare and irreplaceable. Some of the most dramatic stories involve collectors who stumbled upon these pennies completely by accident. One man found a 1984 D double die in a batch of pocket change he hadn't checked in years. What started as a routine search turned into a moment that would forever change his life. He held a coin worth over $1 million, and in that instant, he understood why collectors dedicate their lives to this pursuit. The emotional pull of this penny goes beyond its monetary value. It represents luck, patience, and the thrill of the hunt. Every scratch, every wear mark tells a story, not just of the minting process, but of decades of circulation, waiting for someone to notice. That is the essence of collecting. Recognizing the extraordinary within the ordinary. If you want to know for sure whether you're holding a potential $1 million penny, there are a few tips to keep in mind. Always examine the coin under good lighting, ideally with a magnifying glass. Check for a precise doubling of the letters on the reverse. Compare your coin to verified images of authentic 1984 D double die pennies. And most importantly, trust your instincts. If it looks unusual, it might just be extraordinary. Collectors who've held these coins often describe a mix of disbelief and awe. Some say it's like holding history itself in their hands. And for good reason. Few coins in the world carry both historical significance and life-changing monetary value. The 1984 D. Lincoln penny is one of those rare cases where the mundane becomes miraculous. Yet there's also a mysterious side to this coin. For decades, it quietly circulated alongside billions of ordinary pennies. Most people had no idea that their loose change could contain a treasure. Some coins vanished into the hands of casual collectors, only to reappear decades later at record-breaking auctions. The suspense of not knowing where the next discovery will occur is part of the allure. Every few years, a new 1984 D penny emerges. Coin collectors gather, appraisers examine the details, and suddenly, the once ordinary coin is transformed into a story of wealth, excitement, and wonder. And the most incredible part? It could be sitting in someone's drawer right now, completely unnoticed. The value of this coin isn't just in the numbers. It's in the story it tells. It's in the thrill of discovery, the emotional rush of finding something rare, and the inspiration it brings to collectors of all ages. A single penny that once seemed worthless now represents opportunity, luck, and a touch of magic. For collectors, the hunt never ends. Every penny is inspected, every jar sifted, every drawer explored. Because the next million-dollar find might be just around the corner. And the 1984 D. Lincoln penny stands as proof that incredible treasures can be hiding in the most ordinary places. So, if you've ever glanced at a penny and tossed it aside, think again. Examine your change carefully. Look for the subtle doubling on the reverse. Study the details. Compare your coins to trusted references. And remember, patience and attention to detail can turn an ordinary day into a moment of life-changing discovery. This coin reminds us that history and fortune often intersect in the most unexpected ways. It embodies suspense, mystery, and the possibility of wealth beyond imagination. And in the hands of the right collector, it becomes more than a coin. It becomes a symbol of opportunity. Every few years, collectors are reminded of the 1984 D. Lincoln penny's power. It captivates, inspires, and, yes, changes lives. Over time, the value of this coin has only grown, proving that sometimes, the most ordinary objects can hide the most extraordinary secrets. We're diving into a story that sounds like fiction, but is terrifyingly real. Back in 1996, the U.S. Mint released millions of Lincoln pennies, coins we all tossed into jars, piggy banks, and pocket change. Most of them were completely ordinary. But among them, a tiny fraction escaped the ordinary, a defect that turned them into million-dollar treasures. These coins aren't just rare. They carry a story, a whisper of history, and the promise of unimaginable wealth. Imagine a collector opening a box of coins and spotting one that looks like every other penny, until something about it makes their heart stop. That's exactly what happened to the first person who realized the 1996 D. Lincoln penny was more than just a coin. There's a subtle difference, a tiny mark, a minuscule error, something most people would completely overlook. And yet, that small detail is what can make this penny worth a staggering $1.8 million. The key lies in the mint mark. Look closely at the D stamped beneath Lincoln's portrait. In the million-dollar version, the D is not perfectly centered. It's slightly off, almost imperceptibly shifted, like a whisper from history itself. The edges may show faint doubling, and the copper surface might have an unusual sheen, a glint that ordinary pennies simply don't have. You have to know what to look for, because one glance might make it indistinguishable from a regular penny. This penny story goes beyond its minting. Somewhere, hidden in a dusty drawer or a forgotten coin jar, thousands of these pennies slipped into circulation. Most people never gave them a second thought. But for those who noticed, it was a chance at a life-changing discovery. And that's what makes coin collecting so electrifying. The thrill of the hunt, the possibility that your next handful of change could be worth more than a house. Now, let's reset your attention for a moment. Think about the last time you found something valuable you weren't expecting. That shock, that surge of adrenaline, multiply that feeling by $1 million. That's the exact rush collectors get when they spot a 1996 D penny with the rare error. And it's not just about the money. It's about holding a piece of history that few people will ever see, a tiny artifact with the power to rewrite someone's life story. Identifying the coin isn't complicated, but it requires precision. Take a magnifying glass. Examine the mint mark under strong light. Look for a faint doubling on the letter D. It's subtle, almost secretive, like the coin itself doesn't want to be found. The edges may have a slightly irregular texture, almost as if the metal shifted during striking. These are not flaws to fear. They are clues pointing to a fortune hidden in plain sight. Collectors who have uncovered these pennies describe an almost spiritual moment. One man recounted rifling through a jar of pennies he inherited from his father. He barely noticed a subtle shift in the mint mark until curiosity forced him to investigate further. That single decision, to look closer, to not dismiss the ordinary, led him to a coin worth over $1 million. That's not luck. That's destiny wrapped in copper. The world doesn't know this coin is in your hands. You could walk past it every day without ever realizing the power it holds. And yet, it's there, waiting for someone who has the eye, the patience, and the courage to see what others overlook. Every second you hesitate, another collector could be unknowingly holding a similar treasure. Now, here's something few people know. The 1996 D penny's value skyrocketed because of a minting anomaly so rare it almost defies probability. Only a handful are known to exist with the exact error that creates this multi-million-dollar potential. That means even one glance could lead to a life-changing discovery. The rest of the pennies? Ordinary. But the right one? $1 million miracle. Truly appreciate it. Picture the coin in your hand. Ordinary in size, ordinary in shape, yet it contains the extraordinary. That juxtaposition, a tiny, unassuming penny with $1 million story, is what makes collectors' hearts race. And this isn't just about money. It's about witnessing history firsthand, holding in your palm a tangible link to a moment frozen in time. Let's take a second to think about the excitement of identification. You pick up a penny, scrutinize the mint mark, notice the subtle shift, the faint doubling, the unusual sheen. Your heart skips a beat. Every detail aligns. This is the moment collectors dream about, the pinnacle of anticipation. The instant ordinary becomes extraordinary. These pennies have been quietly circulating for decades. They could be hiding in your coin jar, your wallet, a drawer you haven't opened in years. Millions of people walk past them every day without ever realizing what they hold. But you now know. You know how to spot the subtle signs, the silent indicators that distinguish a regular 1996 D penny from $1 million legend. The story of the 1996 D Lincoln penny isn't just about rarity. It's about the thrill of discovery, the emotion of uncovering a secret that could change everything. Every scratch, every mint mark, every subtle anomaly tells a story. And for the collector who recognizes it, the reward is nothing short of astonishing. Next time you empty a jar of pennies, don't just glance at them. Study them. Examine every mint mark, every edge, every shine. One coin could be more than metal. It could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth. One coin could be the key to rewriting your financial story. One coin could hold $1 million secret. But what if I told you that hidden among ordinary pennies is a 1976 D Lincoln penny worth over $1 million? That's right, a single coin, worth more than a house, a car, or a lifetime of savings, quietly waiting for someone like you to discover it. The story begins in 1976, America's bicentennial year, a time of celebration, parades, and fireworks. The U.S. Mint produced billions of coins that year to mark the nation's 200th birthday. Coins that were supposed to be ordinary, common, forgotten. But in the depths of the Denver Mint, a handful of Lincoln pennies were struck under unusual circumstances. Slight errors, tiny variations in the metal, and subtle differences in the mint mark created coins that, decades later, would become some of the most sought-after treasures in the world of coin collecting. These pennies have a story few know. Most circulated, rubbed in pockets, lost in couch cushions, or dumped into jars. But a select few were preserved by collectors, untouched by time. And among them, a specific variation stands out, the 1976 D Lincoln penny. Not just any penny, but one with a rare die variation that could be worth over $1 million today. It's in the details. First, the mint mark, the D for Denver. But it's not just the presence of the D. It's the way it appears, slightly doubled, slightly off-center, sometimes raised just a fraction higher than normal. This is a subtle clue that can escape the casual eye. Next, examine the date. On this coin, the 1976 is not just stamped. It's slightly irregular, with the 7 leaning ever so slightly to one side. That small imperfection, unnoticed by millions, is exactly what makes this coin extraordinarily valuable. Collectors call this a bicentennial die error, and it's the kind of detail that can turn a simple penny into a million-dollar treasure. The truth is, it's been hiding in plain sight, in piggy banks, drawers, and jars. People handle it every day, never realizing that what they hold could be worth more than most people will earn in a lifetime. And every year, more of these coins are discovered, shocking collectors and dealers alike, proving that even in a pile of pennies, fortune can hide in the smallest corners. Imagine finding it yourself. Imagine the thrill of holding a coin in your hand, knowing that if you were to sell it, your life could change instantly. $1 million, right there in your grasp, waiting for you to recognize it. That's the kind of discovery that makes collectors' hearts race, that sends shivers down their spines, because it's more than just money. It's proof that the extraordinary can exist in the ordinary, if you know what to look for. Look closely at the D, check for doubling, misalignment, or unusual spacing. Next, examine the date. Tilt the coin under light. Look for irregularities in the numbers, small anomalies that shouldn't be there. Compare it with a standard 1976 penny. The differences are subtle, but they are the key to spotting a rare treasure. But it's not just the D and the date. Inspect the overall condition of the coin. The edges, the ridges, the depth of the engraving. All of these factors contribute to its value. A penny that looks ordinary at first glance may hide the signs that make it extraordinary. And while many coins have circulated and lost their luster, the ones that survived in pristine condition are the ones that command attention. And commanding attention means commanding $1 million price tag. Millions of 1976 pennies were produced, but only a few hundred are known to have these unique variations. That means your chances, though slim, are not zero. Every time someone empties their pockets or cleans out a drawer, there's a chance they could stumble upon one of these legendary coins. And every time it happens, it makes headlines. Every coin discovered adds another story to this mysterious legacy, proving that these rare pennies are not just myths or legends. They are very real, very valuable, and very close to where you are right now. Collectors spend years studying coins like this. They analyze every die, every mark, every tiny imperfection that sets one coin apart from another. And it's in those tiny imperfections that the value lies, a value that can reach over $1 million. Imagine the thrill, the awe, the disbelief of holding such a coin for the first time, knowing that what most people see as ordinary is actually extraordinary, that it's not just about money. It's about history. It's about holding a piece of the bicentennial in your hands, feeling the weight of decades, the craftsmanship of the mint, and the silent stories that only coins can tell. And in that moment, the penny is no longer just a coin. It's a ticket to possibility, a symbol of patience, observation, and luck. Inspect every 1976 penny you come across. Look under magnification. Compare every detail to reference images. Trust your instincts. Because the difference between a common penny and $1 million penny can be invisible to the untrained eye, yet crystal clear to those who know what to look for. Imagine the moment you finally recognize it. Your heart pounding, your hands shaking, the realization hitting you that you have something rare, something priceless. That one coin, sitting quietly in your drawer, could suddenly hold the power to change your life forever. It's a moment that every collector dreams of, yet so few ever experience. The extraordinary can be hidden in the ordinary. A coin that looks like any other penny, a coin that has passed through thousands of hands, could be hiding right under your nose. And when you finally find it, it's not just about the money. It's about the story, the discovery, and the thrill of knowing you hold something truly unique. But what if this one coin, right under your nose, could make you a millionaire? The story begins quietly, almost invisibly, in 1994. The U.S. Mint, moving quickly to meet demand, produced millions of pennies. But hidden in that massive production run was a tiny mistake. A penny was released without a mint mark, no small letter to indicate where it was made. To most, it was just another penny. To the few who noticed, it became the stuff of legends. Collectors talk about it in whispers, trading stories in the back rooms of coin shops and on online forums. How could something so ordinary carry such an extraordinary value? The answer lies in rarity and history, combined with an almost mystical sense of timing. This coin escaped the usual paths of circulation. It survived the hands of children, cashiers, and banks without anyone realizing it was different. Here's where it gets emotional. Picture the person who finds one of these pennies. A retiree cleaning out an old drawer, a grandchild sorting through a forgotten jar of coins, a collector who knows every detail of their collection. The first glance, just another penny. The second glance, a heart-stopping realization. Because hidden within that tiny copper disc is a chance at $1 million life. 1994. Then, check the mint mark. Most pennies from that year carry a small letter beneath Lincoln's bust. A P for Philadelphia, a D for Denver. The coin you're looking for has no letter at all. That absence is the secret. It's subtle, almost invisible if you're not looking carefully. But it's the key to a fortune that you'll also want to examine the condition. Look for wear patterns. Coins with minimal scratches, crisp details on Lincoln's face, and a strong outline on the date are far more valuable. Even a small imperfection can make a difference of hundreds of thousands. Collectors will tell you it's not just the coin itself, but the story it carries, a piece of history frozen in copper, waiting for the right eyes to recognize it. They underestimate the impact of survival. Millions of pennies were made, but few escaped circulation without being worn down or destroyed. The ones that remain in near-perfect condition are rarer than diamonds, and rarity drives value. That's why this coin doesn't just sit in a collection, it transforms lives. A single find could mean over $1 million in your pocket, literally changing everything. Let's pause and imagine the possibilities. You find this coin in an old jar, a forgotten drawer, or even among coins left behind in a desk drawer. Suddenly, your world shifts. The mundane becomes magical. What would you do with $1 million appearing almost out of nowhere? Pay off debts, secure your retirement, leave a legacy for your family. All from a coin that most people consider trash. That's the power hiding in plain sight. But the thrill isn't just in the money. It's in the hunt, in understanding the history, in knowing that you could hold a piece of an incredible story. Collectors spend decades chasing rarities, reading mint reports, studying small variations in design. And yet, sometimes the most valuable treasures are right in front of us, overlooked because they seem ordinary. That's the mystery, and that's the excitement. Absolutely. Scammers try to capitalize on rarity. But this coin has a telltale sign. The date and absence of a mint mark must match perfectly. The details on Lincoln's profile must be sharp. Copper color, weight, and size all have to align with official specifications. If it checks all the boxes, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding a potential fortune. There's something deeply human about holding a coin that could transform your life. The tiny weight in your hand, the smooth edges, the shine of copper reflecting light. It's not just money. It's possibility, hope, and a connection to decades of history. Each coin tells a story, but this one could tell the story of you, finally finding your once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Think about it. Every day, millions of coins change hands. Somewhere, in a pocket, a jar, or a drawer, a 1994 penny without a mint mark waits. It waits for the person who notices, the person who understands, the person whose life is ready to be changed forever. That moment of discovery is unforgettable, a mix of shock, disbelief, and pure joy. Because this isn't just a coin. This is $1 million opportunity that the universe left behind for the observant and the patient. Timing. Coins like this don't lose value. They grow. As more collectors search, as the stories circulate, the value of that hidden penny only climbs. That's why acting carefully, but acting, is important. You might hold in your hand a coin that decades from now will be worth even more. So here's what you do. When you're sorting through coins, pay attention to the date. Check for the absence of a mint mark. Examine the details carefully. Don't dismiss a coin just because it seems ordinary. Take the time to let the copper shine, to study Lincoln's profile, to understand the subtle clues that signal rarity. Every moment you spend looking is a moment closer to discovery. Millions of coins were made in 1994. Only a handful survived in perfect condition without a mint mark. That rarity, combined with historical significance and collector demand, is why a single penny could make someone a millionaire. And unlike most investments, it's tangible. You can hold it, feel it, and know that its value isn't abstract. It's real. This isn't fantasy. This isn't exaggeration. Across the country, collectors have documented sales of these coins reaching over $1 million. Ordinary people, just like you, have stumbled upon life-changing wealth with a single glance at the right penny. The thrill, the shock, the joy, it's unlike anything else in collecting. So take a moment. Imagine sifting through coins, holding a small disc in your hand, and realizing you've just discovered a hidden treasure. The rush of emotion, the spike of adrenaline, the vision of $1 million future suddenly possible. It's real, it's here, and it's waiting. All it takes is awareness, patience, and the willingness to look closer than anyone else. Imagine holding in your hand a coin worth over $1 million, a tiny piece of copper that could turn decades of ordinary life into something extraordinary. That's not a story from a movie. It's real, and it's waiting for collectors just like you. The 1998 D. Lincoln penny doesn't look like much at first glance. It's the penny you've seen 1,000 times. Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, a familiar copper hue. But this coin hides a rare flaw, a subtle minting error so elusive that most people will never notice it. And that tiny imperfection is what makes it worth more than most of us could ever imagine. To understand why, we have to travel back to the Denver Mint in 1998. That year, millions of pennies were produced, billions of them, all stamped with the familiar D mint mark. But somewhere in the chaos of high-speed presses and automated machinery, a few coins were struck differently. A misalignment, a doubling of the date, or an unusual die crack left a handful of pennies with characteristics so rare that collectors have paid over $1 million to get their hands on them. Most people will never look closely enough to see it. They see a penny and dismiss it as small change. But if you know exactly what to look for, this coin practically screams its value. First, examine the D mint mark closely. On the $1 million version, the D may appear slightly detached, shifted, or unusually thick compared to a normal penny. Next, study the date. Look for doubling or odd spacing. Tiny details that are invisible to the untrained eye but priceless to the savvy collector. These are the subtle fingerprints of a coin worth an unimaginable fortune. Collectors describe the thrill of finding one as indescribable. Imagine digging through a jar of coins you've had for years and suddenly spotting that tiny anomaly. Your heart races. You know it's rare, and deep down, you hope it's the one. The moment you confirm it, the world feels different. Bills and bank accounts fade away, and suddenly, a small copper disc has the power to rewrite your life. But it's not just about money. It's about legacy. Owning $1 million coin isn't just an investment. It's holding a piece of history. The 1998 D. Lincoln penny tells a story of chance, of precision and imperfection, of a fleeting moment in time captured forever on metal. Every scratch, every mark, every subtle irregularity is a fingerprint of the minting process, a reminder that even the most ordinary objects can carry extraordinary value. Here's where the excitement resets. Picture yourself at a garage sale, casually scanning a box of old coins. Most people walk past, missing the hidden treasure. But you pause, drawn by something subtle in the way the D sits on the coin, or the faint doubling of the 1 and 9 in the date. That's the moment where ordinary life intersects with unimaginable possibility. That's the moment a $1 million coin could leap from obscurity into your hands. Let's take a closer look at the identification process, because every collector needs this knowledge. Hold the coin under bright light. Tilt it slightly, examining every edge, every ridge. Look for a faint line along the rim, an unusual reflection, anything that breaks the uniformity of a typical penny. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the date and mint mark. The tiniest irregularity could signal that you're looking at one of the rarest coins ever minted. Emotions run high with discoveries like this. Some collectors describe it as disbelief, others as pure joy. You feel a connection to the past, to the mint workers who unknowingly created something extraordinary, to the countless hands that have held the coin over the years. Each coin has a story, and this one? Its story could be the turning point in your own life. Now imagine the thrill of validation. You send the coin to a professional grader. Days feel like weeks as you wait. Then the verdict arrives. The rare 1998 D. Lincoln penny, authenticated, verified, and valued at over $1 million. A single coin, once overlooked in a pile of spare change, now holds a fortune beyond imagination. Even the most skeptical collectors are captivated. How can something so small, so common-looking, be worth so much? The answer is rarity, condition, and a twist of fate. Every million-dollar coin has a story, and the 1998 D. Lincoln penny is no exception. Its scarcity makes it priceless, and its history makes it unforgettable. As we wrap up, think about your own collection. Think about that jar of coins on the counter, the loose pennies in your wallet, the coins tucked away in drawers and boxes. What if among them lies the extraordinary? What if a coin worth over $1 million is hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right eye to notice it? The 1998 D. Lincoln penny isn't just a piece of copper. It's a symbol of discovery, a reminder that sometimes the most life-changing treasures are right under our noses.